Hi everybody, it's Sally here, and today I'm just going to talk very quickly about using your transfer tools. Somebody on my Facebook page, Calamander Crafts, asked if I could offer any advice about the best way to hold the transfer tools, and well, I don't know whether my way is the best way. I hope it is because I've been using it for years, or whether it's the recommended way or the right way or the wrong way, I don't know, but I found it works for me. And these things are quite unassuming looking objects, just little plastic things with prongs sticking out the end, and obviously the gap between the multi-prong tools corresponds to the distance between two needles on your machine, enabling you to pick up two or three or just one if you like, stitch off one needle and move it to another one. But they are still tools, and like any tool, to get proficient with using it, you need to use it in the right way and you need to practice. I mean, you know, you watch any adult eating their dinner and they look actually quite proficient. Well, most of them do, with using a knife and fork. But you give a knife or a spoon to a very small baby sitting in a high chair, and 5 minutes later it's covered with egg and baked beans. Well, metaphorically speaking, you're going to be covered with egg and baked beans for a while when you first start to machine knit, because you need to learn how to use these efficiently. I won't say properly, because you know what works for one doesn't work for another one, but efficiently is the best way to describe it. So let's just start off with the 2x1 tool. Now I see people holding them like a pen or a knife. That isn't really the best way to do it. I open my hand out flat, tool across the palm, close my thumb on it, so the back of my hand is facing down towards the floor, and that's the orientation that I use the tool in. Why? Because if my hand relaxes or I sort of get distracted and start looking at something else, the tendency then, if I'm not watching what I'm doing, is for my hand to do that. And so the tool is tipping up. Whereas if you got it this way round, your hand will do that and it will tip it downwards. And so if you've got stitches on those prongs and you tip it downwards, particularly if it's got weights on it, gravity will take over and it will slip off the end of the transfer tool. So that's why I have it that way round. And really from then on in, the idea is to try and keep it as level as possible with the needle bed. Eliminate as much as you can the tipping and flicking. And the easiest way to do this, this doesn't work if you've got your needle bed, your carriage set to hold, by the way, but pull the stitches out and then use your other hand to keep the knitting back against the machine, because if you don't, it can start to pull forward, stitches get caught behind the latches, blah blah. So keep your other hand holding the knitting back against the machine. So you pull the needles you want to transfer out with your transfer tool and push them back, trying to keep it level. Then you do tip it a little bit to remove them from the hooks, take them out, put them into the next one along if you're increasing, or going the other way you'll obviously be decreasing, and then you can pull them out. And you should really just need to hold it under there and pull towards you, and that puts it into the hooks. You don't need to be doing this with it. So if I move these ones along, pull it out and just wait till it flicks into the hook. You shouldn't be doing this kind of action, because that's when you either drop the tool or the stitches don't go where you want them to and they fall off the end of the prongs. So that's how I pick up and transfer stitches with mine. The same goes with the 3-prong tool. Pull it out, push it back, lift, move across, and then just put it back into the hooks. If your machine isn't set to hold, you can actually pull these all the way out to D position and then they'll just knit back. But obviously that won't work if the carriage is for any reason is set to hold. But just lift off and move. But all the while I've got my thumb on the top and my fingers underneath. Whoops, managed to drop one there. Too busy yakking and and I've even got that round the wrong way. too busy yakking, not enough concentrating, and put that back out. So that's how I hold and use my transfer tools. If you're going to be picking up heel stitches, again, I just keep my thumb on the top, pick up the heel stitch and then put it onto the empty needle. And as I'll be demonstrating on another video shortly, I'm going to show you how to do that hand transfer lace pattern, and that obviously has got a lot of transfers all along the rows, and so you need to have a little practice and get confident and proficient with your transfer tool. But try to remember, thumb on top and none of this sort of tipping and flicking. Try to keep the tool as flat as possible and just pull the needles out towards you, but keep the other hand holding the knitting back on the edge of the machine. Otherwise, if you start to pull, it's not going to do it quite so much here, but if you start to do this, you see it's going to pull forwards. Not a good idea. So you want to have your other hand holding it there. So I hope that is helpful for you.